I'm listening back on YouTube, seeing if I can hear you. Just an FYI, which I don't think I can. Um,
Fuck. Oh, fuck, sir.
darn. You know what? I can't hear you. Hang on. Can you say something?
Say something. Uno, dos, tres. So,
Okay, hang on. Why would I? Oh, I do hear you now. Okay.
yeah? Working? Feeling the flow?
Okay, say one more thing.
Yeah, hello. I am Henry the Grape.
Fuck yeah, got it. Okay. I'm gonna take a picture. No, you know what? No. I'm gonna take a mental note. No, I'm gonna take a picture. I need to like snapshot my settings here. Okay, you still hear me?
Yep,
Oh,
I hear
okay.
you.
All right, good, 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 good. Okay, dude, this works. Okay. Um,
Yeah!
first off, there's a
Yes.
couple people looking on YouTube. I can tell, guys. This is first off. Thanks for watching. This is a test, so I'm trying out streaming over on X on like a Twitter Spaces. So no video feed there, but just a straight up Twitter Spaces because I'm gonna kick off a daily show here in the next couple days, maybe next week, and I want that show to be a Twitter Spaces, and I like doing the YouTube thing so much, so I want it to be both at the same time. This is just a little test, but like while we're testing, might as well just like run through all the shit going on. So I have well, I have my brother Henry the Grape here, so you'll hear him talking. He's joined on Twitter or X. He's on that Spaces co-hosting with me. If you don't know him, Henry's a legend, guys. Henry's a freaking legend. I'm assuming anybody watching now already knows this, but Henry's the community manager of the Cyber Kongs. He's also on the Council of Kongs. Are you what? Do you have a title there? Like, are you the chief like biz dev guy?
Yeah, like you know what? It's funny. We kind of ditched all the corporate, like the C-suite titles. But yeah, I'm head of biz dev. Um, Even though, to be honest with you, I think we've just kind of decided like Council of Kongs. It's just the founding team. So I found that an easier way to describe. I'm just like, yeah, I'm part of the founding team of CyberKongs.
That works.
Because otherwise, like, you wear so many hats. Which, by the way, dude, I had. Oh, sorry, you were going on a monologue there,
No, you're
so I
perfect.
didn't mean to. I was at the gym this morning, and I was talking to a kid. He's 21, and in the past, he made a comment about crypto being like I was talking to some old people about NFTs playing pickleball like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
This kid's like, yeah, that stuff. It's all like for funding terrorists and money laundering. And I said, yeah, it's actually not, but like not going to get into that conversation right now. But it's the furthest thing from that. So today he came over while I was working out. He works at the gym, and at the way, the Jewish Community Center. This isn't like Planet Fitness. It's not a bunch of like real young people there. It's mostly old people. So this kid comes over and he's like, yeah, he's like, I want to get another job. He's like, I tried day trading. I wasn't good at it. He's like, but like I've been selling baseball cards at some like card shows. And I was like, oh, you like collectibles? And so we started talking NFTs. This dude comes over, and it was kind of funny because what I'm about to explain makes it sound like the guy was a douchebag.
Okay.
But in hindsight, I completely understand where the guy was coming from. So this guy comes over and he kind of takes off his headphones and he's like, "Oh, you guys are talking about NFTs. I'm pretty deep in
Oh man.
NFTs. Like
Oh man.
I do." And to me, I'm thinking to myself like, "Oh, like first I'm like kind of like happy that somebody in Buffalo is deep in NFTs." But it was just kind of an interesting way to describe who you were. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, what are you into? And he's like, oh, well, like I'm in a project. It's called D Gods.
Oh no
And
shit.
I was like, oh, interesting. I was like, I
You're
know
like I know
Frank.
Frank.
Um, yeah, I was like, I know Frank. He's like, oh, I was on a call with Frank last night. I don't know what this guy exactly does. He's not on the D Gods team. But I was like, oh, I'm on the founding team of CyberCongs. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, and he's like, wow. He's like, CyberConks are like OG. He's like, you guys have like the token, and he's going on, and he's like, are you into ordinals? And I was like,
Oh man.
yeah, I'm getting into ordinals. I was like, are you getting quantum cats? He's like, yeah, well, that minted yesterday, didn't it? And I went into how it got delayed. So
Look
we
at
were
you.
just we were DJing out for 5 minutes, just talking about shit, and he was a really cool guy. And this other kid, this 21-year-old, was looking at us, and he just interrupts. He's like, "You guys are talking a completely different language." She's like, "How do I How do I learn about this?
Wow.
Like, how do I buy one of these things?" And I said, "Yeah." I was like, sorry, we're like, probably fanboying out over each other because we're in the Jewish Community Center in Buffalo and we're both into some degen shit. I was like, but that lingo, it's literally like an entirely different language. And it made me realize like how far we've all come.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just interesting because I was like, oh, it totally makes sense why the guy came over and introduced himself the way that he did. Because to 100 out of 100 people he would meet that he would ever talk crypto about, he would be that guy, super deep into NFTs, etc. But he just happened to meet somebody who was equally deep, if not deeper, into NFTs.
Did you guys
so
connect, like trade numbers and stuff?
Yeah. Trade numbers, exchange Twitters, and it was cool.
Dude, bring them in the idiots.
I thought about that. Okay, so that was the next thought I had after I left the gym. Is I was like, I should invite him to the idiots, but then part of me is like, man, I love idiots. It's like my home. I think
Just
I've
safe
told
space,
you, like,
right?
I've had people ask, I've had calls if they can invite somebody into idiots, and I've like kind of ghosted them because it's kind of become that area where I'm like, I can kind of talk anything, and it doesn't matter. So
no, it's a fair point.
I wanted to go that far.
Well, fair point. I was about to write something in the Discord today that like it's a thing that would get you canceled anywhere. So it is sacred ground and it is a safe space, man. So I get it.
Yeah. It's but maybe after the third date with him, I could decide if he's idiots material.
There you go. Yeah, you'll know by then. That's all, dude. I can't imagine meeting somebody in the wild that knows this stuff, right? That like gets the lingo. Yeah, that'd be so cool. I've not met anybody.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen, and I was just like, oh shit! Like this is, he's got his is it OMBs? He's got his OMB on a zombie on his watch, and he's a fucking DJ, man.
OMB is a really, really valuable piece too. Like that's legit. Yeah, he's legit.
Yep.
Wow.
It was cool. I'll send you his Twitter.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome.
So that was a nice start to my day.
Yeah, dude, that sounds awesome. Hope the rest was as good.
It sounds like it was probably like yours. Dude, literally, I think I've been on calls since I left the gym at like 9:30 this morning.
Crazy.
Just back to back. Some good, some bad, some just bro, I don't know what to tell you. Just fucking grind. You want to know something? I don't know. Well, you haven't because I know how much shit you got going on behind the scenes right now. But Genkai has been like, if you look at the sales in Pongs on Genkai, they're selling,
they're
like
moving.
Crazy.
Yep. No, I noticed because I keep listing my plutonium brain one, and I see the sales. I'm like, interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, you know what we missed on that? Not to make this like Kong specific, but like as far as the spaces goes. But some simple shit we missed in our messaging was that we want Genkai to be the #1 PFP on Ronin.
Oh shit!
Like you have Axes, like the foundational game of their ecosystem. You've got Pixels, which is like their metaverse. And realistically, Genkai should be the PFP of that chain.
Well, that makes sense. Like everybody on Ronin should have one. Like that being the narrative. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, not too late to start seeding that out there. Like make that your motto in a way. Like it's why Ronin brought you over.
It is, exactly. The thing is, so many people wanted us in the direction of gaming and like when's the game and when's the reality is like we wanted Genkai to first be our IP play. Every chain is going to have their PFP, their foundational, and if not one, many, 3 or 4 that kind of represent the chain, maybe a handful more on ETH, and Yeah, Genkai Ronin is probably going permissionless in 2024. And with that being said, you're going to have a fucking massive influx of projects that are just going to launch on Ronin, where now it's permissioned and it's more curated.
Right.
It's going to open up, and there's going to be tons of projects coming over. I bet a lot of them will be gaming focused, and I just think it'll be cool to have the first PFP to launch on Ronin.
That's wild. Damn. Yeah, that is wild. That's a big change. I didn't realize they were doing that.
Yeah, I think Psychonaut, Alex had mentioned that on a podcast over the weekend or last week.
Man.
That he envisions it happening, I think, in 2024. So yeah, that'll be big for them.
We got to get our Ronin tracking up to par then, for freaking sure.
Yeah. They've got a lot of potential in the gaming front, for sure.
Yeah, man, crazy.
Crazy.
All right, trying to think of a proper like jumping on point. By the way, do you think you can mute between?
Yeah.
Just because I get a ton of feedback, which we got to figure out the mic thing. Like even mobile, there's got to be a way to get you a better mic.
Well, here's the problem. So I have what I normally use is my Beats headset, right? And the pair that I have right now disconnects all the time. It's buggy.
Gotcha.
And so I think if I was stationary, it would be better. But right now, I'm using Samsung Buds that are probably, I mean, while they're expensive, they're nice. They're $180 or something.
Right.
They obviously suck. And yeah, it sucks because I'm on the road a lot. But yes, I can mute in between. Well, is it bad when I'm talking?
For me, it's fine. I know in that like some of our Saturday live shows, somebody left a comment that it hurt their ears. So I went back and listened. And like, so when you're listening through YouTube, that like feedback, it actually is like sharp. So for me now, it's fine. But like, I heard what they were saying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll do some tests and work on getting you the right setup.
Hey, anybody that comes in here, they've been warned. I mean, their ears are at risk, and that's fine. They take that risk on themselves.
Yeah, good.
So I named this show, what did I name it? Solana NFTs Are About to Jupiter. I think I named it something else over on YouTube. And I'm trying to think of like the right jumping on point for this, but maybe I started by saying 3 weeks ago, no, more like 6 weeks ago, 4 to 6 weeks ago, using the forecast indexes, I'm looking at what NFTs are performing well value-wise. Like I'm not looking at sales volume. I'm looking at where established collections are seeing their floor prices increase. To me, that's an early sign. It's an early indicator of what ecosystem people are scooping up. Like they're worried that Grail NFTs are going to get out of reach. So I saw Solana declining and I saw Ethereum starting to pick back up, even though Ethereum sales volume wasn't there. But I'm like, okay, I think we're about to start seeing this switch back to Ethereum. Well, now I've seen the exact opposite going on at least a few days. Feels like it's been a little longer than that. But there's news that comes with it that makes me even more sure that we're about to see this like Solana explosion. And man, you know me, I'm not deep in Solana, right? Like I'm learning about Solana stuff. And I think now's the time to be diving in like head first if you're not in it already. Again, I'm going to show you why here. Kevin Abosh is listening here. Holy cow, dude. Cool to see your name pop up. And
he's a baller artist.
Yeah, he absolutely is that. Kevin, you're welcome to come up and chat away. We are just talking about kind of anything. This is actually a test space, but I'm going to be talking about art on Solana, which you have, and we're mostly just shooting the shit. So if you want to come up and say hi, just send a little request.
I think I still have a Kevin Abosh NFT. Like what was it? The black and yellow one?
Yeah, you have that, huh? I don't remember the name of the collection, but yeah, those are cool. And I love it because there's always like a fitting one for the time. I don't know if those get edited, like if it's just like a template that people make one for like that fits the current narrative in the space, but there's always a fitting one that pops out whenever something's going on in the NFT space. For anybody watching on YouTube here, though, just so you know, a phenomenal, just an OG artist of this space and long before, named Kevin Abosh. He's just in the spaces now listening, but I'm such an art geek that's got me geeked out a bit. So just saying.
That would geek you out a lot. That's congrats on reeling in Kevin Abosh into the test Twitter space.
He's a nice guy. Actually, I feel like Kevin and Kenny Schechter I either saw like an interview of them together or them hanging out or something. I might have them mixed up. I might have Kenny mixed up with somebody else, but I feel like I saw that at some point. And Kenny is a guy we like a lot.
By the way, I know you want to get into the Solana part, which you absolutely should, but I was scrolling through photos of when we did the Twitter Spaces with Kenny, and I was in his house, and we were on different floors in his house when we interviewed him.
Yep.
That was forgot NFT NYC 21 maybe.
Right.
What a fucking, when I say what a maniac, taking a word out of your dictionary in the best way. What a maniac. Just
Dude,
the nicest guy in the world.
He's not just a character, like he's just a different breed of human. And again, in a complimentary way, he's a different dude. And like this space needs more of him. In fact, you go back and look at the way he talked about the space years ago. I mean, clearly he saw what NFTs can do for the art space before his peers, like in the traditional art world. But I think he saw what NFTs really were before most NFT people did too, like the degens who are just kind of focused on, like the PFPs and stuff like that. He just understood like what tokenomics mean and what was actually happening in the space. And I love it because he can shit on the space at the same time as compliment it. And the guy just really gets it. He's very dialed into just whatever he's doing. Right. The guy's cool. Anybody else here who wants to hop up too is welcome to. Like, again, this is not an official space by any means. Dead, especially you, if you want to come up and I see sweet baby Kong out there. Subdue.ron. I love the Ron addresses, by the way. But anyone's welcome to come up here. But yeah, dude, the Solana thing. Okay, I'm just going to maybe list some of these indicators I'm seeing. And then I tie it all up in a bow when I mention the airdrops that are coming or have already come and the big one coming tomorrow. First off, though, in the past week here, the Fragana's NFT is the top selling NFT collection. Okay, so that's number one. It's actually the top selling collection in the past 24 hours too. And I think that's been kind of under the radar. I don't know if people realize that Fraganas that were the story of, weeks ago are kind of the story again right now. And I don't know why they're moving. That's actually maybe the most interesting part. I don't know why Fraganas are number one. Their price isn't up that much, but I wonder if that's people seeing the thing that I'm seeing. Right? They see and they know that liquidity is coming into the Solana space right now, and it's coming through DeFi, and that's ultimately going to be the story here. I'm just stepping all over the lead, but people know that liquidity is coming into the Solana space. Right now is the time to be getting some positions in that ecosystem, because I promise you, other people aren't really seeing it yet. They're just not, because my buddies aren't talking about Solana stuff. Luckily, they are starting to talk about the art stuff on Solana, because that actually has gotten interesting the past couple of weeks. But nobody's really talking about the PFPs in maybe since Crypto Undeads. That almost felt like it was the end of Solana's little run. But I got to tell you, it's not. And I think people are scooping up stuff right now and they're prepping for what's going to come. Now, what's going to come, I think, is coming as soon as like tomorrow or the next day. Like it's here imminently. This part. Okay, this is where I got to learn how to show stuff, because I'm going to show it on my screen, which people on YouTube are going to be able to see. Of course, if you're here on Spaces, you can't see shit. But I'm going to show here the forecast indexes. And what I'm looking at here, what you're looking at here, if you happen to see it, you're looking at the Solana NFT composite. This goes back to January 26th, and it's comparing it to the Ethereum NFT composite on the same date. The 26th, the reason being I picked that date, that's the date of the When token airdrop over on Solana. Like a massive meme coin that went out to like 1 million wallets. And that's not a joke. I think it actually went to 1 million wallets, maybe probably more. I think at its peak, the market cap got up to 150 mil or so. Today, when I checked, it's more like 70 mil. Hopefully I'm looking at the right token, or was, by the way, but I'm pretty sure that's spot on. Okay, so since the date of that airdrop on Solana, the NFT ecosystem, the value of the NFT ecosystem is up over 4.5%. In that same time frame, Ethereum is down 0.5%. So this is just that indicator I was talking about, that the money is kind of moving from ETH. It's kind of slowly. It's in a way, it's just trickling out, right? Just kind of a normal thing we see in NFTs. But on Solana, it's different. It's not that it's just flat. It's not that it's trickling in any way. It's actually pumping right now. And the index in particular measures like the established collections, right? I got oh, motherfucking Draco. Absolutely. Come on up, bro. And I think he knows Solana much better than I do, so I'm really curious to hear his insights. But
yeah, he's good on Solana.
But the index going up means people are grabbing the established collections and they're buying them, and they're buying them at a higher and higher price. And the Jupiter drop coming tomorrow, which is a much bigger liquidity event, much bigger. Like I don't understand like the traditional financial market. I think Draco actually does, but I think Tyler had tweeted out earlier like the futures on the Jupiter token is like $7 billion. Like Draco, can you make that make sense to us?
Uh, you know what? I mean, nothing really makes sense sometimes. But what I do know is when Solana kind of exploded, it was like a perfect storm of Solana pumping. But if you remember, the Jito airdrop was just like an inject of liquidity. And I think you're starting to see this now, and people are preparing for the Jupe inject of liquidity, and people are either going to rotate it back to Soul profits or back into Soul, or you're going to see it go into their favorite NFT collection or shitcoins. I think the reason why it's at a 7 billion valuation is because people are already like leveraging long and shorting and playing with mock jupe, and I think they released mock jupe as a test to see where they would open up. So that's my reasoning behind why they think it's coming at a 7 billion valuation, because you have the ability to go long and do perps with mock jupe, and I'm sure they're using that price action to figure out what jupe will do.
Is mock jupe a token on like mainnet Solana, or is that the Wen token, or was that actually a token like on a test net?
They literally created a launch pad testnet like fake token, I believe, on the mainnet. I'm not 100% sure, but everyone started trading it as if it was Jupe, and it was one of those tokens that was just supposed to be for like a test. I don't know if it went on a test net. I think they basically used like a beta launcher. I'm not 100% sure, but long story short, it wasn't supposed to be the real token. They were doing this as a way to experiment with their launch pad, and the degens traded it as if it was.
Um, Absolutely beautiful. So, okay, well, Kevin left, and I was just showing his art on screen. And now he's back. Good shit. Kevin, I was just about to talk about your art because I was going to mention this cycle in I guess I'll say Solana's next cycle here is going to be different from past ones because I think the art space or the art scene on Solana, it's maybe timed perfectly that people are really paying attention to it. Just all of a sudden. And I feel like that started, man, I want to say that rubber drop is what really made people realize that we might see a Fidenza or that type of, kind of piece, something that's significant over there. And I hate to even use that word with it, but Jupiter was, I think, not Jupiter, rubber was kind of a moment on Solana. Today we got this collection called Smile, which is like, it's horrifying. I'm going to pull it up, and you guys watching on YouTube will see it. It's a absolutely crazy collection here. But I'm watching it closely. Again, I like to look for indicators that the things I'm saying or predicting are going to happen. Okay, so this Smile collection minted at 0.2 Sol. Right now it's hanging around 1 Sol. What's it going to do? Our collector is going to do what I'm thinking they might do this cycle and ape the fuck into art. Are they going to play the degen game with it? Because they did that with the rubber collection. So anyway, I wish you guys could see the screen. The collection is absolutely wild. Actually, I can drop it in the comments, but I mean, easy enough, guys. If you go to Magic Eden and just search Smile, it's probably in the like trending collections today, anyways. It's pretty incredible AI art. But again, I'm watching it closely. I want to see what it does, and I want to see if this becomes that sign that again, Solana's going to cook here.
Hey, what's the qualification for the Jupiter drop?
Dude, I think it was very minimal. I didn't qualify, so I don't know exactly what it is, but I think you just had to be trading on the Jupiter platform to some degree. That exchange, which, by the way, that exchange, part of this conversation is the Jupiter 24-hour volume continues to flip Uniswap. So it's like, man, traders go where there's liquidity, and the liquidity is like, man, it's not that it's all on Solana, but it outperforming Ethereum means there's a ton of liquidity over there, man. I just think Solana's about to rip.
But also keep in mind, there's over $1 billion in ETH locked up in Blast.
Yeah. Now I wonder if we have to factor that in as ETH, or if that counts because it's truly a layer 2. It's going to be its own ecosystem. But yeah, that's the next event, right? After whatever happens in Solana here the next few weeks, then we look forward to Blast early March unlocking. And what happens? I think at this point, $1.3 billion locked up. What happens to that? There's just a lot of narratives. There's a lot of things going on right now, and all of them to me are just very, very positive or bullish indicators for all of NFTs, like all of it.
Yeah, I just wonder if we're missing some mainnet action because people have so much of their liquidity tied up in Blast, and that in another month or 45 days or so, if we'll see some of those potential gains coming back
Oh yeah,
into mainnet.
I would imagine
Certainly possible.
so. Okay, here's what's extra interesting now too is okay, rewind back like 1 or 2 years, and the cycles were always and the order I'm not exactly sure, but it's Bitcoin and the main cryptos into altcoins and meme coins into PFPs, then into art, and then it cycles back. It's always one of those things that's popping off while the others kind of, I guess, are not, right? And that's the cycle. Now all of a sudden, and this is just something that built up over the bear market where people were finally willing to play on these other blockchains. Well, now you add the cycle between blockchains to this whole cluster, So at this point, it's like, okay, NFTs are coming back, but what chain? And that is a legit question now because, like we saw, things were popping off on Bitcoin and Solana in December, but they weren't really on Ethereum. And again, like we're talking now, Ethereum just had a decent run for a couple weeks, but now it feels like it's moving back to Solana. And maybe the quantum cats and some of the art stuff happening there means Bitcoin comes back into fashion again. So again, just an interesting thing that we now have to factor what chain is going to be doing well on top of, which season is it? Is it PFP or art season? Very, very interesting market.
Yeah, and it seems like just obviously my view on it, but if you're looking to get into, let's say, blue chips, or even blue chip art, to me, it makes sense that you're playing on mainnet. But if you're looking to degen, there's been a couple cooks lately, like let's say within the past few months on mainnet, but nothing like we've seen on Solana or even Ordinals. So if you're a new project coming out, why do you want to launch on mainnet? To me, it would make way more sense that the stuff that we were getting, 5 a day back in 21, that those kind of projects are now launching on Solana,
right?
Maybe on L2s. It makes total sense. Why spend the money that you have to spend on ETH for the most part for a degen project? Why do it on ETH? There's other chains that are better to do it on. They're more efficient, and that people are really just trading some of the more, again, blue chippy projects on mainnet.
Yep.
So the charts totally make sense for what people kind of should be doing.
Yeah, and right now, man, people really value these chains that have very low gas, which is kind of cool to see. But ultimately, I'm still a believer in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and my thoughts. I know we're gonna have a million, like literally a million plus blockchains, but those two will always be great. They'll always be fine. Ethereum's always gonna be fine. But yeah, for now, people enjoying these other chains that, like you said, they are cheaper. Maybe they have more attention right now. By the way, over on YouTube, I dropped a link to the Jupiter, I guess, airdrop checker or your claim check, right? If you go to that link, you can see how much Jupe that you're going to potentially be able to claim tomorrow. You can see I got nothing. I didn't play on Solana. Regrets, right? It's kind of why I'm putting time into Say right now. I don't want to, keep missing things. But man, I saw like Easy. You guys know Easy. It's on the Nifty whatever show, that morning Solana based show. Dude's getting like 200,000 Jupe, and I think this coin is probably going to be worth a couple bucks. Draco, I don't know if you're here still or have any. No, he's not here. I was curious what he's predicting or what people are predicting is the price of that coin. But man, there's guys here like we see in the big airdrops that stand to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we always see those stories of the guys that make millions from this stuff. Makes me wonder what I'm doing so wrong, but also, those guys, I think, are pro traders. They really are, right? They've got the time to trade all day, and we talk about this a lot. When you work in the space, you don't have time to do that stuff. But it would be nice. It would be nice.
No, those guys are literally, they're not doing what we're doing. They're not doing what we're doing. Like, I did a couple transactions, and I'm in the space, and I have a handful of the NFTs, and I like it. They're farming, they're degenning, and it's probably 12 to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week.
So what I didn't realize is like Jupiter was flipping Ethereum in 24-hour volume all the way back in December. Did not realize that. I thought that was a very recent thing because it was kind of making news. But I didn't realize it's been doing it for so long. And it just, again, highlights the amount of liquidity that's over there. And I guess I'll just keep saying it. And it was my topic in my newsletter, Traders Trade, where the money is. And the money, it's just all over Solana. And I don't think we've had a cycle in Solana yet where we've had this kind of money over there. So I think what's about to become, this is one of those moments, like I like to make predictions, right? I think this is one of the moments that we're going to see on Solana, like something that we haven't quite seen before. Maybe when Solana had its first like giga run in 2022, it did, right? It had like the massive few months at least, right? But I think we're going to see something like that, if not even more. In fact, I'm going to pull up the Solana like global sales volume, and I want to see like what its all-time peak was.
You said that Jupiter had flipped ETH. Did you mean Uniswap?
Well, Uniswap on Ethereum, right? Because I guess you can
Yeah.
count probably Uniswap on these other chains. Am I thinking about that the right way?
Well, I'm just curious if like Jupiter is the main DEX on Solana, or
It
is it just
is.
one of many DEXs?
See, and these are the things I'm trying to learn. I think there are multiple, but I think Jupiter's now officially the biggest. So
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe combined, there's even more on in the Solana ecosystem. I just don't know it enough, and I really wish I did. By the way, just so we can kind of compare sales volume, in August 2021, that was kind of around the start of the chain. I think, right? Am I? Yeah. Okay. Like at its peak, 46 million in daily sales volume. That was just over, a couple days. It was around there. Our more recent peak was like 20 to 30 mil. So I guess what I'm saying is I think we possibly blow both of those away, right? Like we have days now where Ethereum does 60, 70 mil. Actually, it's the weekly totals. I'm sorry. We have weekly totals that are like 60, 70 mil, and good weeks, 100 mil. And in the bull, we have, hundreds of mil. It gets crazy. I wonder if we're going to see those kind of numbers for a short period of time over on Solana. Again, simply because there's so much money. There's so much money flowing into that ecosystem. So I guess the point now is the time. If you've been eyeing the ecosystem, PFPs that you've always wanted, I really do think some of those may actually get out of reach this cycle. And again, those couple art pieces, man, it's one of those spidey sense things, right?
Hold Bodagos if they're in your wallet.
Dude, yeah, I think so. They they're one of the ones. Did I tell you I accidentally sold mine?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. They were around like 5 or 6 soul, and I had a rare one. So I listed it like 12 or 13. And I'm like, if that sells, cool. Cause I can just buy back. And that was then when Gordon Goner bought one and, just pushed the floor up to probably like 15 or something. And it got grabbed basically on the floor. So kind of a bummer. They're cheap enough now. I could get right back in. I'm just trying to be like smart with it this time around and get something that maybe I would like and would like to keep forever. And yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's my problem is even when I'm in on gains on like that or crypto and dead, there's just something about it that I'm like, oh, but it's still a little early, and I don't mind having it in my wallet. Even though when I say I don't care about it, I actually like the Bodogos art. So I do care about that one, but sometimes I'm like, liquidity is good. It's nice to have some gilt in your pocket.
Absolutely, dude. The Bodogos are cute. They got that perfect look. Even if they look a little cheap, it's like I think a little self-aware. So I like them, and I like those guys. I'll be honest. I didn't love the team at first. They've got wicked personality. They do. Like they're fun. And at first, sometimes that can be off-putting. Like until you get to know them and understand personality and like maybe their motives. And so I didn't dig the show or their shtick at first, and just I've really come around to it. Like they're fun. They're good for the space. Yeah, they're not scammy. They're not dirty. I think they're educating the space, and then like at this point now, I actually enjoy their show. I think they're funny as shit. So like they're pretty darn cool.
I haven't listened to the show. I've heard a lot about it. I just haven't tuned in.
Yeah, no, they're good. They're talented guys, that's for sure. And you know what? Ultimately, they're business dudes. Like they're running a business. You can tell they're like hustling. They're grinding. Yeah, man, I like them. Peeking here at the volume still again, or just sales in general. I want to see if anything else kind of stands out here. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I did mean to mention Boogles. So Boogles are a collection, a really interesting collection on Solana. It's just another indicator of what's about to happen here. 2 Boogles sold in the past 24 hours. And so if you're not aware, it's tiny, tiny, tiny little collection, like 200 editions. I think it's actually 209 editions of this collection. They sell for $250,000. And dude, they actually do sell. And when they sell, they're going to whales. I'm trying to think of an equivalent on Ethereum, and there might not be one, right? Like another collection that's like 200 editions. It's super exclusive. It's only like kind of the super rich guys that have them. What would that be on ETH? What's a tiny collection?
Genesis Kongs.
Okay, you know what? That's a good example. That is a good example. So something like Genesis Kongs, much smaller, much more exclusive, much more valuable. And the point there is the holders are legit. Like this isn't a wash sale, and I'm showing it on the screen here. This sold for 2,400 SOL. It's again $250,000 just 5 hours ago. It's not a wash sale. That is a real sale. There are real legit people in that collection, whether they're whales or they're builders or what have you. Those builders are legit. So when you see those sales, again, it tells me people are gearing up for something that's coming. Wouldn't be shocked, not in this cycle, not anytime soon, but that we see like $1 million Boogle sales just because. Just because.
That's an impressive sale, to be honest.
Dude, it is.
Even
It
if
really
it's a
is.
small collection, that's impressive on any chain.
The first time I saw him, I was kind of shocked, right? Like I didn't buy it because I see a lot of wash trades and that stuff we got to kind of tackle on a case by case basis. So I see a $250,000 sale on Solana. I'm like, no, like nope. Let's zap that. But I look at it and it's totally legit. Roman, good to see you, man. Roman's cool. He's on the Taproot Wizards team, I believe. He did the Roman did the step 2 of the Quantum Cats quest with me and English. We did a little like a quick podcast interview thing, and thanks to Roman and our efforts, we got our whitelist, man. I can't freaking wait.
Dude, sweet.
Yeah,
sweet.
Roman's
Thanks
cool.
for the invite, fucker.
I did, dude. I should have done it, dude. It was all so quick. Didn't think of even bringing anyone else into it. I just did, man.
Yeah, why would you?
Well,
I'm only your fucking brother. Why even think? No. I actually super happy you got that. Like I know there was something you were. I mean, I'm going for public mint. I'm loaded. Got my wallet ready. But dude, my issue is Thursday. I am on the road. The girls have a competition up in Lake Placid, so. Fuck, dude. Minting on mobile? Who knows?
I'll tell you what's going to help you a little bit. First off, yeah, you may have to do mobile. Maybe bring your laptop and fire up a hotspot. But the mint window is not 2 hours like it was before. It's actually going to be 5 hours because they do want to give people a little flexibility. So maybe that helps you a bit. Hope so.
You think he'll be any?
Oh, dude, for public, I'm so sorry. No, for public, hey. You're welcome if you want to send it to me, and I can try to go for public for you. So we got options.
Oh, okay, yeah. I might do that.
Hey Roman, you got any like insider info about Team Dead or Alive winning? Like, do a thumbs up if you think Team Alive is going to win, and a thumbs down if Team Dead wins. Let's see if we get any little juicy info out of our man.
Okay, so while we're waiting for thumbs, why did the mint get pushed to Thursday? Were they having like I'm not contract issues, but was it website issues or were things just not ready to go?
All right, well, we got a thumbs down, which means at the very least I know he's rooting for Team Dead because that's our team, and Dead, our buddy Dead is here, by the way. He is also on Team Dead, so we're all hoping for Team Dead win. So there were site issues. I don't know where, right? Like when they triage it, where the issue was. If it was something like with the like wallets and the mint process itself. TLDR though, when you go to check out your cat or you go to mint it, the mint button wouldn't activate, like it wouldn't do anything. Now you could kind of play with it and get to a screen where it makes it look like you're checking out, but it never sends a transaction to your wallet to sign. But with that said, about 1,000 were minted. Like our buddy Dead here did actually get to mint his 2 cats. So some people did. I believe about 1,000 in total were minted. But I could not get it to go. And I think me trying over and over and over made it worse for myself because at one point I had 5 cats that were like in my cart saying they were kind of in progress. So I think if you got yourself in that position, you were kind of screwed. But man, that's a big mint for the ecosystem. And it's crazy because it's not just Bitcoiners that are looking at this. And by Bitcoiners, I mean Ordinals people. Man, you got legit Bitcoiners like the people just trading the tokens like the laser eyes. They're looking at this too. And everybody I talk to on any chain, doesn't matter if you focus on Cardano, Solana, if on Say, on ETH, everyone's watching this mint. Everybody's talking about this mint. I've not seen something like this since, man, maybe the only thing I could compare it to is like a Yuga Labs mint. And that's a weird thing to compare it to, but man, that's the kind of energy it has. Not the same level, but just a similar thing where everybody in the NFT ecosystem is talking about the Quantum Cats and the Taproot Wizards. So it's gonna be something
I would
special.
love to agree with you, and I certainly do not want to shit talk any project. And I know Taproot Wizards are like people are massive fans, especially like
But
indie idiots. But dude, I have just not. There's okay. Let me just qualify this. You know that I like ordinals, so I'm not an ETH maxi. You know I've degened into some ordinal stuff, and I am going to try to mint this at public mint. There's just something about ordinals mints, with the exception of like a handful, right? Like literally a handful, 3 to 5, where the win stays in the sales.
right.
It's almost like you just get these flashes in a pan. They go hard for, it could be minutes, it could go hard for hours. Obviously, some of them, like Node Monkeys, goes for days, and in other projects, OMB. But that's what worries me about ordinals is it's almost like it's a small community.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are just jumping ship every new mint and they're like, oh, this is my new home, and now that's my new home, and I don't know. There's just something about it where just the stickiness doesn't seem there, even with communities that like seem like hyped and that should be sticky. Bitcoin Bears, Bitcoin Whales, Badgers, Little Sappos, fucking probably could name 25 others that seemed like they were really going to stick. Taproot Wizards I know has a completely different vibe. I know with Udi it's a very different vibe, but that's what worries me about ordinal mints.
Yeah, you're right, and I'm actually showing on screen why that is, right? If you're putting out a 10K collection over on Bitcoin, or if you're putting out a 5K, either way, okay, right now I'm showing on the screen daily Solana buyers. Okay, so yesterday, 19,000 unique buyers over on Solana. It's around its average, right? It can range 15,000 up to 20,000 and 25,000 even here. We're not even in, peak NFT, run. So just kind of like mid here treading water. That's the unique buyers we get there. Compare it to Bitcoin, and this is counting people trading BRC20s, by the way, which those are semi-fungible. People don't count them necessarily as NFTs. Daily unique buyers there it's more like 3,000 or 4,000. So how are you going to put out a 10K collection and think it can sustain any kind of price when you have 3,000 buyers in the entire day? So
but look at Bitcoin booze, right?
Yeah.
The booze were 1,800. People were buying white lists for $700 on on like Exaverse, and that went above mid. Which, dude, I don't really care. Like, I'm holding mine. It's not just like it's not just about the flip. It just, that's one of the things that concerns me a bit. Is even on a small collection like that, it goes mint price for an hour.
Yeah.
And then,
well,
but don't care. I don't really care. It's just with a 0.1 mint, that's when I'm like, okay, this is not a this isn't a $400 mint. This is a $4,000 mint. So
$4,200, dude. By the way, I just realized something, guys. On YouTube, the messages I've been sending in chat, I've been sending in the internal private chat, which there's nobody here with me, not in the like normal comments. I'm super sorry about that, Andrew. I see you there, bro. So I'm dropping for you real quick the Jupiter link if you wanted to check if you have any claim. And again, I'm sorry I missed your comments, but it's good to see you, man. Yeah, and he wrote Soul Ecosystem getting a stimmy tomorrow, 10 a.m. Everyone buying everything before the drop. Andrew sees it perfectly. He sees what I'm seeing. The Solana ecosystem gonna absolutely blow up in literally tomorrow, like tomorrow. Just watch. And like, I'm not hearing other people talk about it. Maybe they are. Maybe I'm not like Nostradamus here, but I don't see other people talking about it, and I'm so damn sure it's going to happen. Now rewinding back, I'm looking at October numbers on Bitcoin. Unique buyers, dude, like 400, 500, 600. That's the difference. That's the problem with that ecosystem. To me, it's a good problem. It means Bitcoin is still early, even though people don't think that, right? They saw Bitcoin have its run, they saw Bitcoin have its run, and they're like, okay, no, Bitcoin's here.
That is fucking mind-blowing, dude. You're telling me, let's say on an average day, even now, there's 3,000 unique wallets that are buying.
Yep, that's it. That's literally it.
That's crazy small. Especially since some people are buying for multiple wallets.
So I would say in general, that happens a little less on Bitcoin. I guess at the same time, I do have like 5 different wallets. So I guess that is true to a degree. But But yeah, dude, the user base is tiny on Bitcoin. It explains the prices. It explains the action that you were describing, like things hot for just a moment and then out. Everybody's flipping out because they know there's nobody really coming in. You're not going to have exit liquidity long. But that's where quantum cats are different. There's a lot of people. I would say half of that collection is not even going to get traded. It's Taproot Wizards. It's that simple. People want to be in that ecosystem. A lot of people believe they'll never get a Taproot Wizard itself. So Quantum Cats is their exposure to the ecosystem. So I would say 1,500 of those are going to be diamond handed, maybe forever. And then the other 15, man, I know you got a lot of anxious people that are chomping at the bit to get into this, that didn't do the quest, that didn't get the whitelist. So like I've been listening to some spaces and price predictions are, man, everyone pretty consistently thinks a quarter Bitcoin. And when they say that, it's not like, oh, I think it could get there. Maybe it can get there. It's like, I can't see it not being a quarter Bitcoin. That's them going by what their friends are talking about too, how their peers are viewing the collection, how they're talking about the collection. But then you got people, those very same people saying, I would not be surprised to see it at 0.4, 0.5 Bitcoin. And that's the camp I'm in. I think these will be a quarter Bitcoin right out of the gate. I think 0.3 is very, very likely. And I won't be surprised that in the tiniest bit, dude, if we see these get to 0.4 or 0.5. I think there's a solid chance that happens. It's just a different beast.
Yeah. I'm not going to get too excited because I'll try public and cross my fingers and hope for it. And that would be obviously a great win for. We know a lot of people that are whitelisted, including you. So fucking hope it rips, man.
Yeah, and I hope Team Dead wins here. I hope Roman and Dead and myself. I hope we all get a free mint out of this, because if Team Dead wins, we get 20 free mints. So the top 20 videos or whatever they vote on, the 20 that they like the most get a free cat on top. So how amazing would that be, just to get a free kitty out of this? And I would keep it if I did. That would be my forever cat. I kind of want to do some Say NFTs too, and I'm not going to keep this going much longer, guys. This again was really just a test, and again, just to reset things, I'm going to be starting a daily show. It'll be a Crypto Slam daily show, right? I can actually say this now. Like we're getting ready to officially launch this. We are launching a content platform. So, I've been doing my daily 5-minute shows. I've been doing that for 6 months. That's going to be part of this platform, right? You kick off your day by checking out that 5-minute Inside NFT video. But we also have a couple other shows that are to be on this platform right off the bat. Got the guys over at NFT Live, which have a phenomenal show that they've been doing for years. We've got the Little Noun Show, and I'm glad not many people are listening because I don't want this to be the official announcement. I just don't mind sharing it here. But the Little Noun Show is going to be part of Slam Vision. Jared over at 8nap, I, and MLAU are going to be doing an art show. I think we're going to call it Art Attack, but not settled on that yet. But we're going to have an art show coming soon. And then, dude, gonna also have like a weekly analyst a show, like going over just the numbers. So a lot of stuff like that cooking. There's actually a lot more to it too. But the whole point of that was to say, I need another show. I've got all those already, and half of those I'm in, but I need my own daily show just because I want to do that and because I want to talk to guests. My morning 5-minute show doesn't let me talk to people, and I want to. I want to interview people. I want to get into the market like we're doing here. I just want to get into that routine. So point of this is practice, making sure Spaces and YouTube play nicely together at the same time, and they seem to be doing well. So next week, I am going to look to kick that off. That's your catch up. That's your news.
Great.
Yeah, it'll be fun, man. And what I might do too, it's great to have a co-host. I think maybe you need a co-host, so I might loop in a few people like Henry, you, maybe Draco, maybe English. I don't want people to feel burdened, and I don't want anybody to have to commit to a daily thing because that is a grind. But I'd like a bunch of guys, and hopefully that way I can always have a co-host at least. But it's a fresh face every day too. So throwing that out there, Henry, if you want to do that, then you're welcome to.
Oh, I'm always down. Once I got my headset figured out, so it doesn't sound stupid on the YouTube side. I'm always down.
Beautiful.
And
okay.
Don't forget, sir, tomorrow 3 p.m. Eastern, we have a Discord stages in the Kong's Discord. I know you're working, but we've got like a Genkai reveal party. We're going to give some Genkai away. It should be fun times. Maybe some banana airdrops.
Dude, I'll be there. I'll absolutely be there. That's pretty wild. Why in Discord as opposed to Spaces? Just to make it a little more community?
Because we're going to live stream the reveals. So, like we're gonna reveal a bunch from the team wallet, see what we got cooking in there, and then reveal some and give them away to people that we're raffling off. So, like Discord just makes it easy because we can run the raffle in Discord, like like a 1 minute raffle, get a winner, give something away, and then move on to the next one. So Discord just makes it easy because we can share our screen there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds good. All right.
Oh, also it's holders only. That's the other reason.
Okay.
It's a holder party.
Do any holder, any NFT?
Kongs holders.
Well, okay. I'm sorry. I mean, any like Genkai, VX.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything.
I hate to tell you this. Did you know I sold my baby?
Yeah. You told. Well, I knew you sold the baby. I thought you bought another one back.
Yes.
But maybe
he's gone.
You sold that one.
Yes. It hurts. No. So, and reason being is the little pudgy that was stolen, and the little pudgy is what I was going to use to fund the Quantum Cat. So.
But you decided that the fucking baby Kong could go, but the V1 Punk could stay.
The kinda, yes, kind of basically that. Yeah, because I looked at it like this. Well, okay, I looked at it like this. The V1s you don't often get like. Okay, I definitely want I want a male PFP for it because I'm probably gonna end up using it, and those aren't usually on the floor. You've seen how the space works. It's just what happens. So I felt like if I sold that, I may not get him back. You know, or actually I couldn't afford where they end up. I think a baby I'll be okay after the Quantum Cats that I can flip out of that and buy right back in and probably get a baby I like a little more. Like the last one I grabbed just because I wanted a baby. I was not attached to him. But make no mistake, I'll be back with maybe even 2 babies. And that should be this week still. So, but I had to tell you.
Here's the thing. You have tons of VXs. You obviously have some Genkai. Do you have a level 20 VX?
No.
Okay, I'll have to send you a level 20. We can maybe like swap a VX if you have a grape. Because level 15 plus gives you access to Wall Street Kongs anyway. So at least, you can still tune into the alpha there. Because, dude, I'm telling you, you're missing alpha guys in there. They're fucking grinding, dude. Absolutely grinding, and they're getting wins.
Man. Yeah, you're right. I did lose access to Wall Street Kongs. Weird. I never level up my guys, dude. I hoard my freaking whatever the currencies. I've always run play and collect the wrong way. So like I never get my guys leveled the way you should properly. But we'll get into that, guys. I want to show some Say stuff real quick. I don't know who's in it and not in it. I guess, and it's not like we have a lot of people here, but. For Dead, Kevin, Roman, Bonkers, do you touch Say NFTs at all? And are you interested? Do I guess thumbs up if you don't mind, if you're in or interested, or thumbs down if it's just not even on your radar or don't care. I'm curious. Okay. Either way, I'm showing Say NFTs.
I don't give a fuck.
And that's totally cool. It's one of those things. I've been in it so much now that I don't know how people look at it right now. Like if it's on people's radar even. Yeah, thumbs up from Bonkers. Yeah. And from Dead. Yeah, dude, that ecosystem, it's cooking. I don't think it's a fad. Man, it's almost hard to describe. Okay, and I hate to tell you the reason I'm so confident in it because the reason is a person that so many people hate. Hang on, someone's coming up. Draco's coming back. All right, good stuff. I have a lot of confidence in Say almost exclusively because of Beanie, which that might sound crazy, but Beanie's not steered me wrong in anything. In fact, like I follow him, I got alerts on. When he talks about something, even if I don't follow him into it, I keep track of it. And he's got a phenomenal track record. Like that dude's instincts are like just dialed in. So when he started talking about Say a couple months ago, I was definitely paying attention. And then at some point, just after watching, and especially checking on the Palette marketplace, I got that up on my screen if you are watching on YouTube. Man, at this point, you can't avoid the type of action and the volume. In particular, today, brand new collection out called Yaka Voyager. Over $500,000 in sales volume, which if I were to look at like our collection rankings on Crypto Slam, it's not going to put it in the top 10, but I think that might put it in the top. Actually, my goodness, it would put it in the top 10. you had a collection on Say that would be a top 10 competing with Bitcoin, Avalanche, Solana. The Say ecosystem's got to be looked at. I mean, it does. If you want to be early in an ecosystem, if you would like to play a little winning stuff, partially the reason we're here, it's kind of Say right now. And again, Beanie investing now in the infrastructure. So Beanie, I'm assuming, is invested in WeBump, which is a launch pad, and their launch pad is called Lighthouse. I think he's invested there. I got a feeling he's invested in Yaka Voyager, which is going to be, I think, a DeFi platform here. But man, like Yaka came out this morning. What was it? Maybe $75 to mint. Right now, it's $1,000 floor. The WeBump NFT, man, I don't know what they minted at, but right now they're $2,000 basically floor price. And
okay, can I just ask you a question?
Yeah,
quick
please.
About Beanie, because I kind of have a love hate, maybe more on the side of dislike Beanie versus on the side of liking him, but I recognize like he's made calls, and at the same time, haven't so many of Beanie's calls turned into absolute shit? Like does Beanie not pump his own bags?
Yes.
Pixel Vault, was it Blute? Like just like Beanie can call shit, and it's shit that he's in, and it's shit that he's going to make money on.
Yes.
And it's stuff that people are going to get wrecked on when they don't get out fast enough. And then he's going to blame it on everybody else. But that's his MO, right? And you just want to catch it on the front end.
Well, yeah, I think everything you said is actually super accurate, but I look at it very much like how I trade in a way. If I find something early, I buy it first, and I tell my buddies right away. Like I tell them right away, but it's after I buy it first. And I think that's what Beanie does. I think Beanie makes his plays, and he's a big money guy, and he's super influential, but he makes his play, and he's like, guys, I made this play, and Beanie makes plays because he's a smart dude, and I think he's investing in places that are going to make him money like on their own because they're good builders. I don't think he's putting his money somewhere playing the pumpy game to take everyone's liquidity and then he's out. I think he's investing in good stuff, and Pixel Vault was good stuff early on, and we did make some good money there, a lot of it, and we also left a lot on the table there. But I don't think that was on Beanie. I think that was a lot on the space and how Pixel Vault ran their shit. I really think most everything Beanie has touched that he's talked about has done extremely well. So at the very least, I think anything you've touched that Beanie's in, you've had the opportunity to get out ahead and probably in a big way.
But what about like him showing his token? Was that
Blute
or was it baseball?
Oh.
Making his was it base gold that he was making it his life mission to incorporate it in everything?
Wasn't it like Blute Gold or something like that?
Yeah, it was like something like that. I feel like it was, and he showed it, and it was his, and he pumped it, and he didn't do shit with it, and I just feel like that's the sign of a shitty person.
Okay, so that part I think is half right. I don't think it was his. I think he was sent a bunch of it though, and okay, and now that story could be. That story could be bullshit, right? But I think that was always his side. It wasn't his. Somebody made it as almost a derivative of his Blute collection. And he's like, you know what? At this point, it feels right. I'm going to use it in everything. I think at that point, and remember that time, that was early, it was mid 2021 when we were all drunk on this space, all of us. Oh, Draco, you can chime in whenever, by the way. You don't get no need to raise hands here. But we were all drunk on this space, and man, we are going to make it so freaking hard. That gets everyone, including Beanie, and I think he probably did intend to do something awesome with it. And then you just realize when it comes to it, don't have the time or the energy to actually do it. But I don't think he did that as a pumpy thing to steal people's money. I don't think.
Oh, but what if he did it as a pumpy thing to pump his bags?
I think he said he's never sold it. I think he said he's never sold any. And it's just like
maybe. And like anything else, hard to know for certain, right? Like hard to know for certain how many wallets does he have,
right,
etc. You don't. I just feel like his actions are not exactly somebody that I'm like. He's not a Coco.
Oh, dude, nobody is. Coco is a different breed. Yeah, he's definitely not a Coco.
Yeah, wish he was a Coco because you're right. He does make good calls, and we have made some money off of his calls for sure. For sure.
And then Draco, do you have a point? Yeah, do you have a? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna weigh in on the Beanie side because I neither hate or like him. I do actually have his alerts on because he does make some good calls, but I usually tend to figure out like what my thesis is and then kind of see what other people are saying. And I don't know, like the question I wanted to send back to you, Huda and Henry, because he does have a huge audience, is do you think Say is pumping because of Beanie, or like how much is Say pumping because of Beanie, or because of the builders behind it, or because of the technology?
Interesting. I think it's all three. I think largely because of Beanie, but it's all three because he's investing in that infrastructure. So far, people like the tech and they like the infrastructure. Um, I wonder if there's any other wrinkles to that. And part of it too is people are just winning. People are winning right now so much on those NFTs. So this is that very simple concept. If you're winning, you're going to keep playing, and everybody's
Yeah.
winning in Say right now. So a lot to do with Beanie, but also it's because he's backing up the builders, and so far the builders seem to be building a quality product. We'll see.
So the way I looked at Say is when when Solana had that mega pump, like Solana people were going crazy, and then ETH people were kind of pissed. And you saw the chat and the narratives on the timeline where people are like, "Oh, Sol's gonna flip Ethereum," like crazy talk,
Yep.
right? And it reminds me back of like 2021 when you had ETH was ripping, and then you had the narrative of Solana killers, or sorry, Ethereum killers, and you had like the AVAXs, Solanas, Cardanos of the world. And literally, when I was looking at the timeline, I saw how like a polarized take people had for both coins. I'm like, okay, both coins are going to make it. Now I need to figure out who's going to go after Solana's launch, because Solana has an established ecosystem. And so I was looking at some of these other alt ones, and Sui was one of them. And I saw
Yep.
Beanie tweet about it. I'm like, that makes sense. So I looked in their tech. Their tech's quote unquote faster. Da 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 da. And I've always been a component of like NFTs is the culture component of blockchain. If you can get people to stick on NFTs, the likelihood of your potentially of your coin to do well in the bull run will do well, because you have people like using the coin and doing sync. So I thought he was kind of grifting with WeBump, so I kind of stayed out on the sidelines. But I don't know, man. I think only time can tell. But as long as there's profits to be made, there's profits to be made. Like,
Yep.
remember over the weekend we were talking about Yaka, or I posted in Idiots about
Right.
Yaka. Like, that was such a banger. And then one thing I like about that project, it kind of emulates Solana, because Solana has a lot of tech behind their PFPs, and they're taking like a playbook out of Solana. So you get a DeFi program or DeFi app with a PFP to build a community around,
Yep.
and you're going to do a token, and you're going to incentivize them to like, I don't know, man, it's pretty cool to see. It's not nothing crazy that we haven't seen before.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you're kind of seeing the eco evolving just a little bit.
You can see the potential, right? I think that's maybe what it is we're seeing right now. And you might know this because you are so dialed in, but some might not. Some of the team over on Say comes from Solana. They were Solana developers. So there is a little parallel there, and why it can in a way be looked at as the dude, not Solana killer, totally wrong way to say it, but the chain that wants to be the little brother to Solana. And maybe they can do that because they got former Solana guys here that have been through it before, and they know what that community likes. They know how to build a product that a certain type of NFT trader likes, and clearly now DeFi traders. By the way, okay, random, like intrusive thoughts. Would Solana be doing what it's doing now if we didn't have the SPL20s invented? Like, are those tokens on Solana all SPL20s, or are there legit like meme coins on Solana anyways? You know what I mean? Like these Jupiter tokens, like When and all that stuff. Are those SPL20s?
No, those are real tokens.
Okay, all right.
When's a meme coin, and Mock Jupe was their test fake coin that people traded, but these are real coins, not SLPs.
Got it. Okay, just had to be sure there. Dude, I'm like, what a cool morning this morning. I did end up getting the Yaka NFT, and I got it through WeBump, and it's why I'm trying to. I don't know. It's not like I want people buying into WeBump now at this price, but I will say I think it actually is like fair at this price. If you keep getting mints, not that we're going to see another Yaka anytime soon, or maybe we will, but man, you have this WeBump, and when you're not listed, you get an OG whitelist for basically every project that mints through the WeBump platform, the Lighthouse platform. Man, it's like every day there are at least three NFTs I get to mint, and a majority of them are completely free. And then maybe they go up to 5 Say, but some of them have gone up to like 50 Say, and others I'm minting for like 10, and I'm flipping for 100 or 150 Say. But like all of them are coming through WeBump. So right now WeBump's 2,700 Say floor. It's $1,900. It's not cheap, But if you landed the Yaka one, man, you basically paid for it already, or at least 2/3 of it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had the urge to ape in the Wii bump just yet, just because I do think eventually there's going to be a correction, like we saw it with all like the rotation of all NFTs, right? Between Ethereum's pump, Ordinal's pump, and Solana pump, and we talked about having like a multi-chain attention cycle within NFTs, like coins. But dude, like the Yaka Voyager actually, I think is important because if this does well and it continues to do well, let's say if I'm a builder on Say and you want to build applications, what if you're just like, if I'm a builder and I want to build a DEX, do a PFP and build the way, like there's a proven pattern here. If you can just whitelist and give it to a OG community and feed a community, they're more apt to use your platform or mint your NFT. I don't know how sustainable it is, but I mean, I guess we'll see with Yaka, because that's a great way to build a loyal customer base or user base if you're trying to grow out a DeFi platform. Like they already have 1,600 owners, right? 1,600 owners that may get their token.
Yep.
And, you know, if they want to start farming their beta protocol, they have, you know, 1,600 people or 1,600 users, maybe only like 500 use it, but it's still like a good way to build up your community through WeBump platform of early adopters.
That's it. I wonder what's the cheapest way to make a gamble, like to get exposure and make a gamble on an ecosystem. Because like let's pretend we're 2 years out or a year out from now, and Say does grow and it becomes, you know, one of those top chains, you know, even like Avalanche sized or, you know, whatever. I think you get the idea. Not quite Polygon level, but like right under there, you got to imagine these early like infrastructure NFTs like Yaka and like WeBump. At that point, man, I mean, could be worth thousands upon thousands at that point. You know, like let's say 5 ETH, the equivalent of 5 ETH. You know, so like 10 grand. Like 5 ETH wouldn't be crazy for an early, you know, Ethereum type NFT that gave you access to like a core platform. So that's why I see these opportunities. So I'm trying to think of other NFTs in Say right now that do give you some access potentially to like foundational projects. I think Colony may be that, because Colony announced something today or teased something called like, man, is it Ant Swap or something? They may be releasing a DEX or something next, which is interesting. And I do like all this building going on there. But yeah, I just, man, I cannot get over the opportunity there. If you believe in that ecosystem or believe it has a chance, well, man, some of these NFTs are giving you like, you know, entry level chance at, you know, the start of something potentially big. Lost my thought here. Hang on. There was an NFT I was going to show. It still is Yaka. I just wanted to mention Yaka is getting you an airdrop. So like whatever their token is, if you're a Yaka holder, you're getting that. And you're also getting royalties on the NFT if you sell it. Like every time that NFT sells going forward, you earn royalties on it. So it's now tied to your wallet, regardless if you own it or not. So just really, really interesting stuff. Of course, now with exposure, I'm rooting for it like crazy. But man, again, Spidey sense all over Yaka.
So did they code in royalties into the smart contract?
I mean, they must have. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess I don't know technically how that works.
If you OTC it, yeah. Like if I send to you and then you just OTC me the money.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, if it's not done on a marketplace or something, what would happen? But
yeah. Hey, I got a fly Huda. I feel like I get smarter every time I talk to you, though.
Oh, I love it.
So
well,
yeah, that was fun to degen a bit. It's great way to end my day.
Yeah, dude, absolutely love having you, of course. And I think we'll get the Daily Show rocking. Guys, I'll just wrap now. Anyways, we've gone an hour. That was actually my goal with this. But keep an eye out for Daily Show coming. I actually think it might be an evening show. We'll see, but I'll keep you guys updated on that. And I think that's coming within a week here or so. So again, keep watching. Appreciate you guys listening and joining to the experiment. I think it worked. So appreciate you guys. And we'll see you tomorrow. Draco, thanks for coming up and chatting, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hell yeah. Peace, guys.
Draco.
Later, fellas.
And okay, I'm still on YouTube, so the same goes to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. It was an experiment. I'm really happy it did work. Right? I can stream on YouTube, or I'm sorry, I can stream on Twitter. I can get that kind of audience going. At the same time, be on YouTube, interact with you guys, put stuff on the screen so you actually get a little better experience, honestly. As long as you could hear those guys talking, awesome. Send any feedback you might have. If they were hard to hear, if it's too quiet, if there's too much like echo, any of that kind of thing would help a ton. But expect more of these type of things going forward. We'll see you next time.